Hello and welcome to this new series where I'll be taking on the Goodwood Hillclimb in a series of themed batches of cars. For this first batch, I'll be taking some of the original Kunos cars up the hill to celebrate 10 years of Assetto Corsa. We'll have a mix of cars running today. We'll set a benchmark a lot of times. Each car I give 4 runs, and we record the best time. Right, so here we go. We've got the BMW E30 M3. This is the 1992 DTM car, livery as driven by Johnny Cicotto, the former Grand Prix motorcycle world champion, and also did a few years in F1 as well. He's one of the very few drivers to do both disciplines. In 92 he finished 4th overall in the championship, took 2 race wins at Brno, and the E30, one of the most successful touring cars of all time still. Over 1,400 victories in a very lengthy career. He won touring car championships all over the globe. There we go, let's see how it does in the Goodwood Hillclimb. First time up, a 50.62. Next up we've got the Glickenhaus P45 Competizione. Yes, the same Glickenhaus that has been racing in hypercar the last few years. This car is based on Ferrari 430 Scuderia, which is built to GT2 regulations. An interesting choice of basing it on a road car for that. Ran the Nürburgring 24 hours in 2011 and 2012, and finished 12th overall and won its class in the 2012 race. Based on the Ferrari P45 concept car designed by Pininfarina. But Ferrari did not sanction this car, so it ran under the Cameron Glickenhaus banner. Okay, we've got the Lotus Exige now. This one is the 240R. Limited edition of the Lotus Exige. Ran as a factory conversion of a standard Exige. So 50 of these were built. Slightly upgraded over the standard Exige, 240 horsepower, and some neat little features from the GT3 car that ran at the time. Yes, Lotus ran a GT3 Exige for a few years. Not much success because it's one of the very first GT3 cars. This little production example, quite quick, is a 52.98. It's one of the standard beginner cars in Assetto Corsa. Probably one of the first cars you raced online. It's the Abarth 500 SS. Little 160 horsepower version of the Fiat 500. At the time, probably the hottest version of the Abarth available. Though since then, there's been quite a few limited editions like the 595, and even the 695. Fun little car to drive. Good for some close racing as well. Always, slow hot hatches always produce good racing online in Assetto Corsa. Probably be the slowest run of today, considering the fact it's a small hot hatch. We've got a 1 minute .7. Another iconic car from Assetto Corsa. This is the Tatis Formula Abarth. So this car was precursor to the Formula 4 Championship. Changed the regulations in 2013 to become Formula 4. And of course that category has exploded in popularity around the globe. And this particular livery is one that I ran in the league way back at the start of Assetto Corsa. It would have been about 2015 I ran this car. The Minardi livery. And it does a 45.07. Now coming up, we've got another car that I ran in a league race. This is the very first league race car I ran, the Assetto Corsa. As you can tell from the, quite frankly, terrible livery on it. This is the Ferrari 458 Italia Stage 3. So it is basically a Ferrari challenge car with a bit more power. And as you'll see, it does a very rapid lap time here, running on slick tyres. So it is basically a race car, it just looks like a standard Ferrari 458 on the outside. Coming up through the flint wall, very committed through there. Should be a very quick time from this Ferrari. Oh, right out to the hay. That is a rapid time, just a second or so off the P45. Right, now we've got the Lotus Exos T125, which is not a Formula 1 car, but it was closest we had at launch of Assetto Corsa for an F1 car. This was a track day style car built by Lotus. There were meant to be 25 of these, but only 2 were ever built, and they never sold any. In the ill-fated era of the Denny Bahar Lotus ownership. This car has been reborn as the Roden. This is a team that took over the Carlin team in F2 this year. Now one of the most iconic F1 cars of all time. The 1967 Lotus 49, as driven by Jim Clark, who took 4 race wins in the 67 season, but due to unreliability could only manage 4th in the championship that year. So the car that introduced the iconic Cosworth DFV engine to F1, the engine that went on to dominate the late 60s and into the 70s as well. You can find that era of Formula 1. See this car getting sideways, 4-wheel drifting everywhere. Always lovely to see from these 60s F1 cars. It does a 46.7. It's still a very impressive time. Now on the line we've got the Mercedes SLS AMG GT3. This car was the 2012 GT1 World Championship winner, which confusingly was rent to GT3 regulations in its last season in 2012 before it folded and the Blancpain GT series took over. This car was driven in the era by Mark Bassang and Marcus Winkelhock, who is probably well better known for his F1 record of leading the only race he ever started and gaining 22 positions in 1 lap at Nürburgring. 47.86 for the SLS. Right, now final car on the line for today is the Pagani Zonda R. This is probably the ultimate Pagani still. Like, then there's the Huayra R, but I just love the Zonda R. Just that raw carbon fibre look. This is essentially what a GT1 car would look like if it was built in the late 2010s, or the late 2000s I should say. It had a engine from the Mercedes CLK GTR. And it sets a lap time of 47.4. Okay, so with that final run done, here's our event standings. Unsurprisingly, the Lotus Exos comes out on top of a 38.1. Then we've got the Tatus, the Lotus 49 in third, and a very tight little batch between the couple of GT cars, the Pagani taking it over the P45 and the Mercedes SLS, and the 458 in 7th, the E30 M3 in 8th, and rounding out the top 9 and 10 is the Lotus Exige and the Abarth, so the 2 road cars just at the bottom of the list so far. Stay tuned for more runs of this, and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see run up the hill.